We're back. We are back. Welcome to Loaded Mag NUFC. We had a little bit of a break, but you know what? We are back. And we are very excited to bring you another show tonight. So, yeah, good to see so many familiar faces in the chat already, chattering away. But, of course, got the main man next to me, Chris Hall. How you doing, fella?
I'm all good, mate. All good. Enjoying the World Cup, but I must admit I am really missing me club football. So, yeah, counting down the days till Boxing Day. So as soon as you mentioned about having this away days, I was 100% in. Because I can't wait to start talking about the lads, and obviously in anticipation of the season restarting on Boxing Day.
Definitely, and look, I'm with you. I'm sure so many others in the chat are the same. And look, we just want Newcastle United back on our TV screens as soon as possible. And you know what? It's not going to be too far away until we get a little snippet of what we've got to come on Boxing Day with Newcastle United, because tomorrow, 5 p.m. if I'm right in thinking, Newcastle United play their little mini pre-season friendly against Al-Hilal. Yeah, of course, it's away days. So what better way to look forward to a mini pre-season game than have somebody who knows about the club better than we do. And look, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome him on. He's excited to come on to talk to us, and we're excited to come and talk to him tonight. So let's welcome back to Loaded Mag NUFC, Alwaleed. How you doing, my man?
How are the lads?
Get it. How are you, my friend?
I'm very good, and glad that back with Loaded.
Definitely, it's been.
Yeah, you have a big popularity here in Saudi Arabia.
Loaded.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Love
Great
it.
to know.
Love it.
Great to know. No, it's good to hear, Alwaleed. And look, you would know better than anybody else because you're there in the thick of it. I'm sure you've been banging the Loaded drum and letting everybody know about Loaded Mag and UFC.
Have we lost him? Have we still got it? You still there, Alwaleed?
You hear it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. I know the sound's been a bit off because we tried you with the headphones and it wasn't great. So I'm glad you can hear us. But look, you're there. You're in Saudi Arabia at the moment.
I'm sorry. Come again. Sorry.
Are you in? You're in Saudi Arabia right now.
Yeah, in Riyadh. I am in Riyadh now. Yeah.
Okay.
I will attend the game tomorrow.
So you'll be at the game tomorrow evening. Is it 3 hours ahead in Saudi?
It's yeah, we are 3 hours ahead. Yes, now it's 10:30 Saudi Arabia time.
Okay. Look, let's kind of talk about the game really. First and foremost, you know a little bit about Al-Hilal. Is it? Am I pronouncing that right?
Al-Hilal, yeah. Al-Hilal, yeah.
So look, tell us a little bit about the team that we're going to be playing tomorrow night. What do you know about them as a team?
Sure thing. Of course, يعني, I'm a Hilal fan, Saudi Arabia. And Al-Hilal is number one team in Saudi Arabia and in Asia. And they are highest, it's like Real Madrid of Europe, of the number of Champions League. Al-Hilal is the number one. And last Champions League was Al-Hilal in Asia. And three Saudi League in the row we achieved. And the Argentina team that Saudi Arabia play against Argentina, in the starting lineup was 9 players from Al-Hilal.
Wow.
So you could say Hilal beats Argentina. But the good thing for you guys, for Newcastle, that 6 players are injured, and I think the international player will not play, as we hear. Maybe one of them, because one of them, I said 9 in the lineup, but totally 14 players in Hilal in the national team. So some players who didn't play maybe will participate. There is a lot of not Saudi players, maybe 7. I think they all play tomorrow. I send you some photos. We can play it later. I can tell you a bit of everyone.
Yeah.
If you,
It's up to you. Do you want to do it now? I've got the pictures.
as we speak about Hilal, because we want, I would like to Newcastle fans to know more about the players to watch, and yeah, maybe Eddie can hear some advice.
Maybe. So look, I'll put up the first picture that you sent me.
Yeah, I know it's in Arabic, but I will translate it.
Yeah, go for
Okay,
it.
this says Al Hilal lineup expected against Newcastle. Goalkeeper Abdullah Al Mayouf. He's actually number 1 goalkeeper in Saudi Arabia,
Wow,
but
okay.
he wasn't in national team because he retired. But from national duty, but he wants to come back. But the coach of Saudi Arabia, Hervé Renard, says no, you didn't do the qualification. We'll not call you up. So that's why. But he's great goalkeeper. His name Abdullah Al Mayouf. He will play. Nasser Al Dosri, he's a midfielder, but because if you remember Yasser Al Shahrani, who was injured, the big injured with Argentina, the one who have a fracture in the jaws, he's missing. So we don't have left back. So Nasser, he can cover the left back. Nasser scored a great goal in final Al Hilal against Bohang in Champions League final. Great goal. If you can just cut up, it was maybe in 10 seconds he scored in the final. So he's a good player, but he can cover left back. Jahfali, he's famous defender. This is also, every player have a history. Jahfali, he's famous defender. He will play as well, defender. Jang, he's Korean midfield, Korean defender. He will play.
Right.
And Al-Yami, Al-Yami, he's a right back, and he's one of the, he's a young player, maybe from the team under 23. So this is the defense line.
Okay.
In the midfield, great players. Quilar, he's defensive midfielder. He played for Colombia team, national team. Very, very strong. And he could also play as defender. Carrillo from Piro. He's a great player. We call him the Snake because he have a great dribble. Dribble very well. And he will play with Quilar. And Pereira, of course, Pereira. Remember, he played in West Bromwich Albion.
This player?
Yes, Pereira. Yeah. He didn't do much well, but he's talented. But sometimes a player, sometimes they're not fit, maybe, or he did some great games, some bad games. So
I can remember, Alwaleed, I can remember when we were doing the match day lives and we were watching West Brom, and he was one of their better players. And actually, there were a few Newcastle fans that were saying that they would take him.
Remember when he first player when he beat Thomas Tuchel, great team, when he arrived to Chelsea with a 3-0, I think, or 4-0. He scored, I think, 2 goals
at Stamford Bridge. I remember.
Yeah. And the Big Sam, I think, was the coach back then. But they got relegated that season. In front, we have Michel Delgado. He starts normally, but later on he become very massive winger. He's Brazilian, very great player. And Igalo, of course, Igalo is amazing. We just we took him from Al Shabab. He played for Watford and temporarily for Manchester United. He scored a lot of goals in the Hilal. I think he's best striker in the league. And it was a good deal that we take him from Al Shabab.
Big signing that.
Very.
Didn't play many games, didn't he?
And last one is Marega. I'm not really sure from where.
At Porto.
Senegal, Portuguese.
Wow, I didn't know. I didn't know all these players played for Al Hilal.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Marega was at last time of Mike Ashley Romers when we were trying to have Willick, if you remember.
Yeah,
Marega, he linked to Newcastle. He was playing in Porto.
Wow.
It's crazy.
He's really amazing. He's really amazing player, and he surprised me really. When I watched him in Porto, I didn't like him very much, but in Al Hilal he did very good. But I think the issue is he's a striker. But with Al Hilal, because we have Igalo and the tactics is one striker, he play as a winger. But for me, I prefer him as a striker. But he play him as a winger. So pretty much this is going to be the players lineup tomorrow. Maybe some changes, but I think that's the Al Hilal always attack team, can't defend Al Hilal, always attack team. You saw maybe Al Hilal and Chelsea in World Cup. Al Hilal almost beat Chelsea that time. Yeah, that's pretty much Al Hilal lineup.
Wow. Interesting. A very, very interesting lineup there. And obviously, like you said, it was an hour of it, but really appreciate you, Alwaleed, just running through that potential lineup for us, because I think like Chris and like myself, as I was looking through some of the players beforehand, I was genuinely shocked that some of the players that you got there, because there are some well-known names there. Chris, I know you were shocked at one or two. There are some decent players, some decent players that have played at a high level in Europe that are playing for Al Hilal at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like Marega, he totally went under the radar, and then Igalo, the lad from West Brom that we were talking about earlier. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised, and I think it's nice, going into a friendly when you've got some players there who are pretty decent. When you're playing against players who are of a good standard, it brings the lads on more, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the game tomorrow, Alwaleed, because I'll be spotting all different players that I've seen play in the Premier League or other big leagues around Europe.
Yes, and there will be a cup tomorrow. I don't know if you have a chance to see the cup.
Oh, the cup.
Yeah, there is a cup tomorrow, and I just tweeted, but I forget to send it to you guys. If you scroll my tweets, you'll find it. It's an amazing cup, and I wish Newcastle to win it, really, because I feel Newcastle needs it more.
Oh, so we're actually playing for the cup.
Yes, and if you can download it, it's in my Twitter. I just tweeted a few minutes ago. You can.
I will take a look at that.
Yeah, great cup. Yeah, because they just posted. It's called Al Dar'iyya Season Cup. Al Dar'iyya, it's the old city of Riyadh.
Okay, so we're obviously they've just put out there that we're playing for a cup. Does that to you, Alwaleed, make you think that this could potentially be a regular thing then, if they're making it into a sort of a cup competition?
Yes,
so it could
exactly.
be a yearly thing.
It's gonna be every year, yeah. And I think they choose Al Hilal because he's the Saudi League title, Champions League title.
Okay.
It's like and it will be like Ezebio Cup, the one we lost Benfica. So it's like something regular before the season, maybe.
Interesting, very interesting. There's one other player. I don't know if he still plays for them now, but I wanted to bring him up because it's a player that we know very well because we were linked with him way back when. And it's Bafétimbi Gomez.
Oh yeah.
Played for them as well. Is he still there, or has he moved on?
Actually, he moved back to Galatasaray in Turkey. But
Right.
for me, this is maybe best striker ever play for Al Hilal.
Best striker ever.
Best striker ever.
Wow.
He was a goal machine, and regardless that we bring him maybe he was 34.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we didn't bring him young. And he was 34, I think, when he joined Al Hilal. He scored a lot of goals. And scoring is just as we said in Newcastle always, score for fun. He scored for fun.
Yeah. Chris.
But now he's lately he's of course the old is making, now he's 37, but we really catch some of his prime really. And in the Champions League, he was amazing really, and I'm really impressed that he came, and he was doing great in Galatasaray, but Galatasaray, he's playing in Europe, so it's very difficult. But in Asia, he was scoring for fun.
Chris, I don't know if you. I imagine you remember all the links with Bafétimbi Gomez, the Willie, won't he? I was desperate for him to sign because I knew how good he was, and then I think he ended up going to Swansea in the end, and he did okay there, to be fair. But another one that's played for Al Hilal and scored another goal. There seems to be links with Newcastle all over the place, ex-players and all sorts.
Yeah, there does. Do you know what? I was half tempted to do an impression of the Bafétimbi Gomez celebration, and then I thought it might not look great on screen. Yeah. I was like that celebration. I always remember that from his Swansea days. But yeah, we were linked with him heavily, and there was a point where, like, I think it was really, really close. It might have been in the days, Pete, and correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been in the days where we were like heavily linked with the likes of Aubameyang. You know, when he was like earlier on in his career, it was like it almost felt like Bafétimbi Gomez was going to come through the door, but obviously he never did. But yeah, he seemed a good player. But what I wanted to ask Alwaleed was, and I'm getting this off FIFA at Alwaleed, so I might be completely wrong. I might be way off the mark here. But does a player called Hamdallah play for Al Hilal?
Hamdallah, he used to play in Al Nasser.
Al Nasser, yeah, I'm getting.
But then he moved to Al Ittihad. Yeah, and I think still he's Moroccan player, and he's still playing Ittihad.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
And now he's in the World Cup with Morocco, but I think he's in the bench.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I've seen him at the World Cup.
Yeah, he's a great striker, but he have his mood sometimes become maybe very excited, and it's some players they get very excited and making some physical contacts and stuff like that. So got in trouble too much.
No. So look, we've gone through the teams a little bit, and you've given us the lowdown on what we could expect potentially with some players that we recognise tomorrow. You've obviously been around Riyadh a little bit, and there's been lots going on with Newcastle being there. So we've had obviously the training sessions, and in particular today, there were some fans that got to meet some of the ownership and some of the players. So it's been a really, really busy day. Were you, Alwaleed, were you a part of that event? Were you there? Did you get to meet some of the players and the owners? I don't know if you could hear. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I just have a call. Yeah, you get that? Oh, I can't hear you now. Sorry. I will come back. Come back.
Yeah. Come back on. No problem. I love it. Alwaleed's doing it from his phone, so he got a call.
Yeah.
But we'll get.
That'll be me. It has on the phone, that piece.
Probably. Would not surprise me. Hold on, I think he's jumped back on. 1 second.
Sorry, I just have a call. I forget to turn off the notification. So was
that me? It had on the phone, Alwaleed.
Sorry.
Was that me? It had on the phone.
Or Amanda?
No. I was invited to 2 events.
Wow.
All Newcastle, one for FIFA, and one for the photo you show me. Wow. But I thought it's gonna be different time, but the surprise was they were at the same time, different location. So I had to choose the one I promised first to come. So I chose the first invitation because I already agreed. So I went to FIFA, and there was all what I know that it was FIFA. So when I went there, it was Merdad there, Peter Silverstone there, and 3 players: Chris Wood, Jamal Lewis, and Carl Darlow. This is we play FIFA together, and it's like a new partnership with BIF and Newcastle regarding games and stuff, and it's called VOV.
It got announced today, didn't it? That was that the one that came out about 1 o'clock this afternoon or something? There was an
Yes,
announcement.
that's the one. That's the one. I was there with 10 of the fans from Saudi supporter club. And and we met Merdad. I tried to take some information about transfer window, but no, I couldn't. The financial play, that's so no. But hopefully there will be players. And I was caught in some late before a training. Some official from Al Hilal and official from Newcastle talking about that the game should be easy. We want to avoid injuries, but there is a cup. I think everybody will be excited.
Wow!
And for the other event, my friends went there, and we saw on Twitter a lot of fans. And also there is an event I just do in Roche Cafe that you can say they are the supporter avenue for Newcastle in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, and there was a lot of Geordies there today.
Definitely. It's great to hear lots of things that have been going on in Saudi Arabia today. But you're absolutely right, and I just wanted to touch on it whilst we were talking about it now, because as Chris and both of you said, the announcement of the strategic collaboration with VOV, the online and offline gaming company. So you actually put out a video today, didn't you, Alwaleed? You had a video of showing the VOV and the games thing that was going on. The question I want to know is that who won at FIFA?
Actually, first half I think we won, but the team Darlo who won after all.
Okay. Fair enough. But now, were they any
good
at
FIFA? Actually, I lied today. They said, "Are you good at FIFA?" I said, "Yes," because I want to play with them. and to be honest, I never play FIFA.
So very quickly they realized that you weren't.
I played maybe a long time ago, very long time ago.
Very quickly they realized you weren't the player you told them you were. So that's very, very interesting. But no, fair play. Okay. Going on to the he's gone. I think he's got another call. Going on to the other event, Chris, I want to come to you actually with regards to this, because some of the pictures and some of the conversations on it were fantastic. We had Amanda, and we had Eels. I think Silverstone was there as well. Representing the sort of the board of Newcastle United, and then you had Eddie Howe and some of his coaching staff there that were part of the sort of the talking event. Lots of people there. Yeah, I think Mitch, friend of the channel, and Steve Hasty were there. You had Adam P that was in the house. I think Lee Lawler from Newcastle Fans TV was also in attendance too. But like, just how good is this, Chris? Looking at the type of events and things that Newcastle are putting on right now. Even in Saudi Arabia, that is so sort of it's kind of tailor-made for the fan, isn't it, to be able to feel more part of the club? Like, what was your reaction when you saw this sort of event was on for the fans?
It's just great, isn't it? And it's the complete contrast, the complete opposite of what we've been used to over the last 14, 15 years under Mike Ashley. It's events like this, and it shows the worth of going out, to Saudi Arabia and running events like this. It's absolutely fantastic. It's bringing everybody together. It's getting Newcastle United's name out there, and I think it just sets up good vibes as well. It makes the club look professionally run. It makes the club look like we mean business now. We're getting sponsorships left, right, and centre. We're getting our name out there, and and what's made me laugh, Pete, over the past few weeks is the fact that all these journalists and other media outlets are all coming out and saying, "Oh, surprise, surprise, they're going to Saudi Arabia," and didn't see that coming and all stuff like that. But it's all down to jealousy, isn't it? Because now we're such a well-run, well-oiled club in what we do and how we do it. it's great. You don't often see that. You don't often see that from other clubs. Like, I know they go on tours and I know they do things, and maybe we're seeing more of it, obviously, because we're taking an interest in it and we're actively looking for it. But every time you see pictures, the videos, even Newcastle YouTube, they've uploaded all kinds of, media, and it's fantastic for us as fans to see, and it just makes us feel excited. It makes us feel like we're on a new path, a new journey. And it's great to see. It's really, really great to see. And now I think it just shows the value, as I say, of these these breaks away that we have, because we're in top quality facilities, and the lads are training hard from what we can see, and we're going to come back refreshed and ready for Boxing Day. And ultimately that's the reason for it, isn't it? And also to make new relationships and make new partnerships. So I think it's great. I really can't knock it.
Definitely. Alwaleed, welcome back. I know you just dropped off for a second, but I want to ask you, Alwaleed, Chris has made a really good point that, it's brilliant to see the things that Newcastle United are putting on in Saudi Arabia for the fans. Like yourself, you've been there today, you've been to VOV, you've got to, meet the players and even play FIFA with them. How has it been for, not just for the fans that have travelled to see the owners and the players and to ask the questions, but how has it been for people in Saudi who are now supporters of Newcastle that are going and being a part of this event? And how many more Saudi Arabian, the people of Saudi Arabia are now becoming Newcastle United fans? Are we seeing more and more following Newcastle United now that PIF are majority owners?
I will tell you something, Yani. It was yesterday. I've been told to bring 10 fans to the event. So I agree with the group, and I got some apologize. So I was four people short. I quickly did some invitation, and someone drive 300 kilo for the event for Newcastle.
Wow.
And so that's a lot of fans now going in Saudi Arabia. You can see, and to be honest, a lot of the fans, they don't watch usually the Premier League, but after the purchase of the club, after the takeover, they got interested more. There is two parts of the fans. The fans who really like the Premier League, they watch Premier League, and they maybe support other teams, and some of them support Newcastle. And the other team, other part, they don't watch usually Premier League, but now after what happened, they start to be interested, and they support Newcastle from the beginning. So it's growing every day. I was talking to Peter today, Peter Silverstone, and I was asking many questions. I tried to get some info for my show. He said something very good. I talk about the supporter, about many questions. To sum up what he said to me, that we want everything perfectly. I asked why this is late, why this is not enough. I wasn't like talking about I want like supporter club, I want like a trip to Riyadh to Newcastle directly. He said we can do a lot of things, but we want to do perfect. We're taking our time to make things perfect, and not just copy paste other teams. We want something unique for us.
Yeah,
that's why they're taking time, and they want unique things to do, not just doing what teams do. No, we want something special. So this was really, I like that. That's why they are taking time in things, because we're happy. Why we didn't have this now? Why we didn't have that? That's the thing. He's really smart. I'm really impressed by him.
You know what? That's great to hear. It's great to hear that they obviously they're taking the time. They want to make sure they do it right. And I think you mentioned there they want to do it sort of differently. And that's what impresses me the most, because Chris, I think you might agree with this as well. I want to get your thoughts on this. Is that when we were taken over, everyone's kind of linking us to what Man City did, what Chelsea did before that, what PSG have even done. But there's always been from Newcastle United fans that we want to do it our way. We want to do it differently. We don't want to just follow the other clubs that have been and done it. So for you saying that, Alwaleed, that's really positive for me to hear. And Chris, what are your thoughts about that? You agreeing? You were agreeing with that point there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is about us doing it our own way. And do you know what? When we first got taken over, and Alwaleed, I'm sure you'll agree with this. When we first got taken over, I think secretly or deep down, we were all going, "Oh, imagine we go for Mbappe. Imagine we go for Haaland. Imagine we go, all these huge major players." And it's funny now. Obviously, over time, we've calmed down. We've all settled down a little bit and been like, "No, do you know what?" And maybe we're still kind of in the Ashley way of thinking, in terms of I know I am to a degree, the way like if we sign a player for good value, I always think, oh bloody hell, we've got a great deal there. We've done really well, we've not paid over the odds. And it's funny, even though we've got all this money, and even though we're going to get new sponsorships in, we're going to be able to spend more money. I kind of I don't know what it is. I kind of don't want to go out and buy hundreds, 120, 150 million pound players. I'd rather do what we're doing right now and go out and buy the best young talent that we can, but do it at a sensible price. I mean, we've all noticed over the past few months the amount of people coming out saying, "Oh, well, you've bought yourself into fears. You've bought your way up the league. It's not that difficult." And we've all been defending, going, "Hang on, look at the stats. Look at what Nottingham Forest have spent. Look at what Villa have spent previously. Look at what Everton have spent previously. Chelsea just spent an absolute fortune in the last transfer window, but nobody says anything about that. Everyone's putting the finger at Newcastle, and I think, as you lads have just said, us doing it our own way and us doing it in a way that suits us is great. I think the financial fair play is something we've got to be mindful of. It's something we've got to be very careful of going forward. But equally, do you think, and this is a question back to you both actually, just while I'm thinking, do you think if we carry on the way that we're going and we're bringing in all these players, like Grand Qual, players like that, who, could be superstars, but, we'll have to wait and see. The likes of Dan Burn, the likes of Kieran Trippier, getting really good value players. Would you prefer to do that? Or would you prefer us to go out and buy an established, 100 million pound player, like a top level player? How would you like to do it? I know we've just spent 63 million on Isak, but I think signings like him will be few and far between. Pete, I'll go to you first. Well, are you happy with the way things are at the minute? Would you want to continue in that vein?
For me, 110%. We have been linked with a lot of players, particularly in the summer, that I want nowhere near Newcastle United. And the reason being is either, that their mentality is not right, their attitude's not right, that they earn too much money. So are they going to really play for the club properly? But equally is that they're not of the right age and they can't grow with the club. We've got players now that want to grow and build with the club. Alexander Isak, Sven Botman, there's two. Bruno Gomes, there's three top players that are probably our biggest players in the team that want to grow and build with us and become better players as they go along. Look, we'll get on to talking about him in a little bit because there's a really good question about this particular individual. But you throw out Cristiano Ronaldo, we had links with him, weeks ago, and I want him nowhere near. As much as I love the guy, I want him nowhere near Newcastle United because he's not the player that we need to take the club forward. If we wanted to sign a Cristiano Ronaldo, we'd be no different to what Man City did with Robinho. Would be no different to what Chelsea did with a number of their players that they signed. Andrei Shevchenko, for one. They went and bought him for 30 million and barely just kept him on the bench. We don't need to do that. And we've already proven in the last year that we don't need to do that. So we need to build nicely. The player that PDK has just put in the chat, he's not a bad player. I won't mind him. We talked about him with Roberto Rojas as well, over in the US, I think he plays. But as well as that, Bandar, we do need Maddison. We need him, but let's not get started on that just yet. I'm sure there'll be plenty of
First show back.
Just let me take a breath for a second. But yeah, I think we need to build players that are like that Bruno Guimaraes mold, that are quality players, but I've got years ahead of them to grow.
Yeah. What about you, Alwaleed? Are you expecting a massive signing? Are you wanting to see us signing bigger, more expensive players, more high-profile players, or are you quite happy with the model that we're seeing at the moment?
Well, I try to extract a lot of information, but what I can conclusion, it's going to be a bit of this and that. We're going to have some players, and we're going to focus, because we will focus. I hear this was one of the conversation today. We care, of course, much attention and for the youngsters, and a lot of young players from Newcastle, they came with the squad. So I think it's going to be a bit of this and that.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think we're all kind of saying the same thing, or on the same page with that point. But yeah, it's a great point, Chris. I'm glad you mentioned it. But I just want to give a little bit of a shout out, really, to everyone in the chat. It's been a while, but everyone's back and forth. We've got some new ones. So we've got Maggie the Baddie just joined in. How you doing? We've got our fantastic spanners in the house, Lisa and Simon. That's just a couple that I can see in there. David Cook, welcome, David. Glad to have you back, and you've made a great question about, or you made a great point about Ramos. We'll come on to that. I've just starred that one for later. Jordan for Life in the house. Great to have you on. Trulls, great to have you back as well. Badder, some great points you just made, particularly about Maddison a second ago. Les, great to have you in the chat. Our very own Mart is in the house. Great to have you on, Mart, and he's threw you some compliments, Chris. I don't think you got that far down the chat.
I'm not
throwing you some compliments in there. I'm sure you'll respond.
It's a lovely chat. I've always said that. Lovely chat.
Great stuff. PDK, Gary, Morris, Kennedy, great to have you on. Would I? Superb stuff. Jimmy, welcome, Jimmy. Great to have him in the chat. Andy Brett, brilliant stuff. I'll keep going up. Ken Charlton. I'll keep going. Where we got in there? Adam McCarthy, and thank you for renewing your membership, becoming a new member. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. As well. And if you haven't already, if you enjoy the channel and you're new to watching the show, just click the like button. Everyone, we've got 114 plus in the chat right now. Everyone press that like button right now. And if you're new to the channel, just click subscribe. And of course, like Adam McCarthy, if you want to become a member. Trust me, you are going to want to become a member. And that's all I'm going to say, because what we've got planned for the month of December, you are going to want to be a member. And that's all I'm going to say. So if you're not a member, get to it. End of that conversation. And I'll add to that, if you've got a question for all three of us, or in particular our leaders, our very special guest tonight, throw your questions in there. And actually, there is one question, Chris, that I want to come to our lead now.
Go for it, mate. Go for it.
Okay. And it was from Andrew Davis. Welcome, Andrew. And he's put Al Hilal and didn't bid for Ronaldo, even with being the biggest club in Saudi Arabia. Were you surprised by that, our lead, or were you expecting it? Thank you so much.
Someone's back with the subscription. Sorry, Alwaleed.
Actually, what's written there?
So our very own mascot, Summer, she's asking everyone to subscribe to the channel. Okay. Subscribe to Loaded Bag. Get in subs. Brilliant stuff.
Cheers, Sums. Thanks, Sums. Good girl.
I'll repeat the question, Alwaleed, if you need me
to. Yeah,
sorry.
I get it. Actually, I was in discussion before the show. about with one of Saudi expert in transfer. I said, "What's the story with Ronaldo?" He told me that he got many offers from Saudi Arabia, maybe 2 teams, Al Hilal and Al Nasr, but the player keep refusing them. So I'm not really sure, but we're still trying. So maybe I think maybe he will come, because we believe if we bring Ronaldo, that will help us hosting World Cup
Yeah.
2030.
Okay.
That's the reason. That so So I think that's big. So I think we're still trying. My personal expectation maybe going to America, because America they will provide what Cristiano maybe he wants, but it's depends. It's depends on the offer, I think. So Ronaldo, I think we see Ronaldo now he's struggling. So I think it's still a chance to go to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and as well as that, I think Messi at the end of this season is going to America, if I'm right in thinking. Or
Messi, he's the ambassador of Saudi visit. Saudi visit for tourism. He's the ambassador. So so maybe he can come to play in Saudi Arabia soon. Maybe.
You never know. You never know. And like Martin's put in the
So
chat.
we'll try to have them both. We'll see.
Well, yeah. You could potentially. I think you're right. You could potentially have them both in Saudi, or they could both go to America. Martin just put in the chat Messi to Inter Miami and David Beckham's club, which it's been talked about for a couple of years now. But it could well be that Ronaldo also goes and plays in America, and that Ronaldo Messi battle still continues, but just in the MLS as their careers are coming to the end. But equally, like you said, Alwaleed, great point. They could continue that battle over in Saudi. How much interest would that generate? Like you said, with the 2030 bid for the World Cup, that would be huge. Definitely, but sorry.
Definitely.
I thought you were going to say something. I thought you were going to say something. It was just
no, I thought that's the comment, not question. Sorry.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. We'll move on. We've got a point here. It says Hilal revealed that the vast majority of tickets for its match with Newcastle in the activities of Diriyah 2022 season are sold out 24 hours before it starts. Can you confirm that? Is that correct?
Well, this is what I heard, but I think there's still maybe still some, and we already did competition for 2 tickets already in our account. Because what happened was the organization of the tickets was a little bit a new way, maybe, but I think now it's going to be 18,000. The stadium 22,500, but because security and stuff, the management make it 1,800, 18,000, and I think maybe it's sold out because now every minute. But maybe 3 hours ago, I think not, but maybe now. But I believe there is the black market. I think it's never ends. So I think there will be still tickets.
Interesting, very interesting. But no, great to hear that. The interest is big, because I think all Newcastle fans are looking forward to tomorrow. I don't think it matters who plays in the Newcastle team, and I imagine there'll be some changes as the game goes on. But just as Chris, you said it right at the start of the show, just having Newcastle back in our lives again and being able to just watch them play, I think everybody is just looking forward to that at 5 o'clock. So really looking forward to it and buzzing for it. Alwaleed, you're going to the game. Who are you most looking forward to seeing? We know that Alexander Isak's not going to play, unfortunately. He's not quite ready yet. And they want to, I think it's more precaution. They want to take their time with him before they play him. So it's looking like potentially Boxing Day against Leicester, the earliest he could play. But who from the players that are there in the squad are you looking forward to seeing at the most and watching play?
Well, when I think about the game, I believe it's going to be a competition more with Newcastle players and not Saudi players in Al-Hilal. Because as I said, it's their opportunity because most of Saudi players are injured and not play. So I think Carrillo and Pereira, they want to prove themselves, and who's better to prove themselves against Newcastle? And we'll see who have. Let's talk. Okay, let's exclude Saudi and English players. All right.
Okay.
Let's talk about the other countries' players. I think there will be a kind of big competitions going on. Like Maximan, Marega, everyone wants who's better, because Saudi League and Premier League, of course, a huge difference. So they will know, because if they play good against Premier League side, this will increase their chances to maybe play again in Premier League, get better offer. So that's it's a proof of self. So that's what I think. This is what I'm looking for. This kind of competition.
Yeah, they've got something to prove, haven't they? Like you said, they want to show what they can do against the Premier League team.
Yeah, because Carrillo play with Watford before, Marega, Igalo. So they want to show the people that it's still good for Premier League.
Yeah. No, great point. I agree. Alwaleed, definitely. Chris, obviously they're going to be back on our screens tomorrow afternoon. Looking forward to it. What are you? Who are you looking forward to seeing the most, and who needs to impress, in your opinion, to make sure that they've got a starting berth, not for Leicester, but for Bournemouth in the cup?
Yeah, I know, absolutely. I think the player I'm most looking forward to seeing tomorrow is St. Maximin, because I want to see what he's like after the full. I keep calling it pre-season. I know it's not pre-season, but it certainly felt a bit like a pre-season. I want to see St. Maximin back to full fitness. He's got his braids now. He's changed his hair, so who knows what that's going to bring? Who knows? But yeah, I think St. Maximin, it's going to be a big game for him, because if he impresses, it would be great to have him firing on all cylinders back for the first competitive match. Obviously, I'd like to say Alexander Isak, but I don't think he's going to be playing, because we've seen him out on the grass. We know that he's training with the lads, albeit he's not wholly involved, so he's probably still a week, maybe 2 weeks away from being fully fit. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. But yeah, I'd say to be honest, I'd say St. Maximin and Isak. But as I say, I know I'm not going to see Isak.
Sorry to interrupt. Regarding St. Maximin, I happened to watch the first training session.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, I noticed that Maximin was defending.
Oh,
so, yeah, he
Jeez.
was defending. So maybe he want to fit to Eddie Howe style for play, not just staying forward. That was interesting for me. And Isaac was he was training just simple exercise, simple training, and that was with the. But that you're speaking about Maximin, I saw him defending very well.
Wow.
Oh, good.
Hopefully, it's something that we can keep an eye on and we see a little bit more of. But look, I think it's a great point, Chris. St. Maximin, he's had a lot of stick from some fans recently, and I don't think it's warranted. He actually has. St. Maximin hasn't played since that Wolves game where he scored the wonder strike, and I think that was back in August. That's a long time not playing football. And with St. Maximin, he has to have a run of games in order to build his fitness up. and so it's going to take time. So
Yeah.
this game is coming at a great time for him to really show his fitness and to show, that he's back and that he's ready to go. But also he needs to get minutes under his belt. I think he'll play against Bournemouth, and I think if he plays well, I think he might even play against Leicester. I genuinely think that they'll try and throw him back in and get him involved again because we need him. We've got players that have stood in and played really well, but he's a special player. He produces special moments, as we saw against Man City and as we saw the goal against Wolves. And you don't want to just get rid of those players just because of the players are playing well. What you want is those players to add to the squad because you want a squad of players. I think, Alwaleed, you touched on it earlier on in the show about having a squad, a big squad of players to choose from. And Alan Saint-Maximin can add to that. There's no doubt about it. So interesting with regards to players that you want to see. Anyone else, boys? Chris, Alwaleed, anyone else you're looking forward to kind of watching a little bit more of? For me, Sven Botman, for me.
I was about to say Botman.
I watch him all day. I love him. I love the guy. But anyone else? Alwaleed?
Well, also, of course, I want to see my team, Al-Hilal, what he will do against Newcastle.
Of course. Who do you think will be the player for Al-Hilal that will stand out tomorrow? Who do you think will be the player that will really have a good game?
Okay, from Al-Hilal, I expect Pereira and Carrillo.
Okay. Pereira, so
Yeah.
Matheus Pereira.
From Newcastle, I expect Maximin because we rely now on him because we don't have Bruno, we don't have Wilson, so Maximin will be. So Maximin and Carrillo and Pereira, I think that there will be the star of the game.
Okay, interesting. So it's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on. With some of those players coming tomorrow, and it's going to be an interesting game. That is for sure. If you haven't already, get your questions in. I think there's a few questions that have already been thrown in. Chris, go on, throw some questions at Alwaleed. I think there's a few questions already popped up already.
Yeah, so this question came in quite early, Alwaleed, and Chris UK Essex has asked this question, and he's apologised in advance, saying he thinks he's got the right details. So if you don't know who he means, he apologises in advance. But Chris UK says, "Evening guys, watched Saudi's games closely at the World Cup, and I really liked their 23-year-old right back who's who switched to play left back wearing the number 12, and the 28-year-old defensive midfielder who was massive in number 23. I think they both play for Al Hilal. Does Alwaleed think they could possibly make the step up to play for us in the Premier League, or indeed whether we should sign them up to help fill the squad out?"
Okay, the player is Saud Abdel Hamid. He's the right back.
Okay.
He was for Al Ittihad, and Al Ittihad, I think, struggled financially, so Al Hilal bought him, and he did amazing. I think he's the most player running in Saudi team, more than 30 kilometers. So he's an amazing player, young, and I think there is interest from many clubs. One of them, Juventus. He's great, and still he can be improved. His name is Saud Abdel Hamid. He's amazing, and he can play in many positions. The other player, who's I think 28, I think his name is Mohamed Kano. He's a great player as well, and really, and he reminds me of good Brian Pogba. He's amazing and really have control of the ball. He's really stylist. But the thing is, who will gonna pay more than Al Hilal for these players? So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Who gonna pay amount, because they are expensive.
Yeah.
So and Al Hilal, they will not sell for normal profits. Maybe if it's like if they double the price, maybe Hilal accepts. So why? So this is the struggle. So maybe the player want to go to Europe, but who will pay this amount of money? Big teams usually they will not go for not popular players, and and I think results of the World Cup, I think they will have a chance, but the thing is amount of money. Are the clubs interested? Are they gonna? I'm sure there is a clubs interested, but are they rich? Are they gonna pay more than Al Hilal, away more than Al Hilal or not? That's the thing.
That's a great question from Chris. Great question.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely. Leslie Stapleton asks, wasn't there a new Newcastle channel launched in Arabic and it got 25,000 subs in the first day? Have you heard anything about that, Alwaleed?
Yeah, I think the Twitter account.
Oh yeah,
Actually, I want to be careful what I said, but they should, 25, it's nothing, but the way they launch it, I think they can do better. They launch it quickly, no preparation. I think they should be event for launch this thing. But this is just my
phone to you, Alwaleed. Should have got on the phone to you.
No comment.
You would have helped. You'd have made it good. Yeah. PDK asks Alwaleed, will PIF sell us? And then following on from that, Daz asks, could we ask Alwaleed what he's heard about that ridiculous rumour about PIF selling us and buying Man United? What are your thoughts on that, Alwaleed?
Who's saying this stuff? I don't know who. Is it
it's in our media in England. It's in some papers.
What was interesting, I can only talk from where I heard it first. I heard it first from a journalist that actually writes about Man United. That's where I heard it first. It might have come from other.
I think they just teasing us. This is funny thing, really. I don't know what to answer. This has never happened. Gonna never happen.
Is there any conversation about that in Saudi Arabia at all?
Not all. But just maybe that who want to buy maybe Liverpool and Manchester United. It's individual. Maybe some individual try, but it's very hard for them maybe to pass the director test. You remember that? Yeah. It's a long time we didn't say that. Director test is it? I want the fans to just ignore this. This is just to sell the papers, nothing else.
Alwaleed, I've got sort of a side question to that to ask you. I was asked this question the other day about the Man United potentially buying or being bought by the PIF and them selling Newcastle. I don't think it will happen either. I don't think it's real. I think it's a load of rubbish. But there was also links with people in Saudi Arabia that were looking to invest or buy Man United, not necessarily the PIF. Do you believe, as someone that lives in Saudi, do you believe that we've got the best possible people to own Newcastle United in terms of the highest ranked people in terms of finance? Is there anyone else in Saudi Arabia that has more money than the PIF that could buy Manchester United? Because I don't think there is, but you might know more than me. Is there anyone else? Because I think to myself, we have the best Saudi investors of anybody. I don't think there's anybody out there that can be a better investor in Saudi Arabia than us, than what we've got in PIF. Would you agree with that, or is there someone bigger?
Newcastle will be the only club in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. Interesting.
No. And if this happens, maybe it's going to be individual, and I don't think this is going to happen at all. Some people say they just trying to give a name for themselves to maybe using just for publicity. Like some businessman want to do that just for his own publicity, maybe. So nothing.
Okay. Chris, I think you're on mute, mate.
God, you can tell I've been away for a while, even though that happens quite regularly anyway. Any regular viewers will know that happens quite regularly. But that's my excuse. Adam Patronik, I hope I've pronounced that right, Adam. He asks, and again, great person to ask because Alwaleed was at the training event. Is there any word on Dan Burn? Has Dan Burn flew out with the squad now, or is he still not there?
Well, I heard from trusted source here, Newcastle side, that he came late morning yesterday. But after that, I get very busy. I didn't catch up anything else. But and he came from Dubai, and I think he was kind of sick or something. Something light, not big deal. But I believe he's in Riyadh, according to the source.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. David, this is the last question, Ali. David Cook, he says Ramos did well yesterday, obviously for Portugal. He replaced Ronaldo and come straight in, hat-trick. So he did fantastic, and obviously he was the player we were linked with in the summer. And obviously our lead, with you being in Saudi, with you brushing shoulders with the top brass, we've got to ask you this question. Have you heard any rumours about potential signings in January? Have you heard any whispers? Is there any names being brought up?
I don't want to get in trouble, but I asked. I try to. What I get that a lot of things, but then start talking. So because nothing, nothing get maybe far, but there is a lot of talking. Start talking maybe with a lot of signing, but as always. But again, I try to squeeze more information, the fair play stuff. Like, shut up.
Brilliant. Look,
but I will tell you something interesting.
Go for it.
I try to push for Madison thing, and my sense from body language, Madison is on the table. But this is just a hunch.
If you could go for someone
on the table or not on the table.
What?
Did you say not on the table or on the table?
On the table.
Don't do this to me, Alwaleed, please.
No, I'm saying, I was pushing for a question because this is just in my blood now. I'm trying to get any opportunity to get information. But when I try to talk about Madison and they give my reason, I in body language, I'm not expert, but I felt that he's on the table. So that's what I felt. Because when I was asking that Trippier put a photo on Instagram with Madison, Wilson as well, I think Madison as well, and there was a show something that he liked Newcastle players, he's close to Newcastle players, and when I ask, okay, is he coming? It's like I feel he's coming, but this is just expectation from what I read the story.
Just nothing.
Oh dear. Now look what you've done.
Alwaleed. I wanted to ask you, Alwaleed.
Yeah, I was extra careful with words. So please, I'm saying extra. So nothing more. I'm not saying, but this is what I get. Yeah.
I understand.
Nobody will tell me. So, but this is what I can feel.
We know. No. Yeah. I just wanted to ask you, Alwaleed, and this is just your opinion, by the way. If you could sign one player in January, so say me and Dad came up to you tomorrow and went, Alwaleed, who do you want to sign? And we'll go and sign him. What name would you give me and Dad?
Trossard.
From Brighton.
Yeah.
Good player.
Yeah,
maybe the winger Diaby, but I think with Almiron doing good, Maximan and Fraser, we can, Trossard, we need it more, I think.
Yeah.
Because he's really, really great player, Trossard.
Yeah. Right. Great shouts. Great shouts. All players that would improve.
Yeah, I like Madison as well, but Madison, I think I feel he's like have a weak ankle. He will get injured.
Yeah,
he will
he has had some injuries. He has had some injuries. That is true. And obviously he's only just back to fitness now for England. He hasn't played for them yet, which I think is a good thing for Newcastle, because I think once he touches the pitch for England, I think his value goes up even more. So it makes it even more difficult for us to do a deal if he plays for England at the weekend. So if he doesn't, it actually maybe even plays into our hand a little bit more, but we'll see. But keep digging away, Alwaleed. You still got a couple of days.
Well, I think I reached to the bottom digging. I can't dig more.
Oh, Alwaleed, sorry, I've got one more question for you. I've just noticed it.
Okay.
Martin, who you obviously know Martin very well. Martin asks you, is any shop selling Newcastle shirts in Riyadh yet?
Yes, already. I did my trip there. I visit some in Ulaya Street. There is a lot of shirts, but I could say more. It was more of the last season shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, but the good thing today at Vogue, the new company of Play Games, they will start today. They start selling shirts there. They will sell shirts there.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they have already a lot of shirts signed by players, and they said that they will sell shirts there.
That could be the start of it then, sort of branching out into selling it in other places. Interesting. Very interesting. Adam, I have no idea what he's referring
no, I was just
to.
saying, I didn't know. No. Should have
No
saved that
idea
for the
what
question
he's
round.
referring to.
Yeah.
That'd have been a good one. But look, just as we come towards the end of the show, thank you for all your questions in the chat. Really do appreciate it. And just like clockwork, I was going to mention it, Chris. It's just we've synced up already. We've synced up. It's been a couple of weeks, but we're back. As Lisa says, our fantastic mod, 122 plus watching, only 53 likes. For those that haven't clicked that like button yet, go and click it now. It gives us extra exposure to the channel, and other people can see the fantastic conversation we've had with our very special guest, Alwaleed, this evening. Just before we round it up, Alwaleed, I'll come to you. What do you think the score will be at the end of the game tomorrow evening?
I think Newcastle will win.
Okay. Have you got a score line in mind that you think it might be?
Maybe 3-2.
Okay. Get some goals in there. Chris, Jimmy's just completely thrown me with a comment he just put in the chat. I'll drop it in now. I looked down and I just saw this. Jesus Christ.
Jimmy's
Jimmy.
back to being ruthless, isn't he? Come on, Jimmy.
I know.
Come on.
Oh, bless him. But,
I agree with him.
What do you think? What type of game do you think it's going to be tomorrow, Chris? In terms of, will it be like what Alwaleed said, all like goals, action, like attacking football, or do you think, from Newcastle's perspective, it will just be about getting minutes under the belt, keeping possession, and just kind of ticking things over? What type of game are you expecting?
Well, I mean, obviously, there's an added bonus. Now we could bring a trophy home with us, couldn't we? So really, we should be taking it seriously. We've got plenty of room in that trophy cabinet. So I hope the lads take it seriously, and it would be nice to win a trophy. It'd be nice to get one. But for me, and I think, again, I was talking before about being in that Ashley mindset, of trying to get bargains and stuff like that when it comes to transfers. What Eddie Howe has, put upon me now is that I'm now in the mindset where I just want clean sheets. I feel like me and Sven Botman get on like that. I just want clean sheets all the time. Don't care who we play against. I want the defense to be solid. So for me, I would take 1-0 all day. The opposition sounds a lot more difficult than what I give it credit for. I didn't know, there were that many really good players playing for Al Hilal. So I think it'll be a difficult game. What do I think it'll be? Do you know what? Hand on heart, I think it'll be 2-0. I'd guess 2-0. And that's me hoping that, we manage to keep a clean sheet. But yeah, if we come away from that game with a clean sheet, I'll be delighted, if I'm honest.
Okay, well, as long as it's not conceding 4. Sorry, Chris, 1 second.
Oh, sorry, Pete, sorry.
No, as long as it's not conceding 4 like the Dubravka has tonight against Cadiz. Man United are losing 4-2 to Cadiz in a pre-season friendly, and Dubravka's in goal for them. All 4 been conceded. So as long as it's not that, like you said, I think it'll be absolutely fine. But yeah, it'll be. I think it'll just be, look. I think being honest, it would just be great for yourself, Alwaleed, to watch them live. Watch them play, and for us, just watching Newcastle United again. It's for anyone that's not aware. I think 1 or 2 talked about it on the chat. It is free to free to watch on Newcastle United TV. So check it out. Obviously, the game kicks off at 5 England time. So yeah, we're looking forward to keeping an eye out. And look, just as we wrap up the show before we get to the sponsors, it doesn't stop there with Loaded Mag NUFC. We will be back after the game tomorrow night for a Loaded Mag NUFC, your questions answered. So a few questions answered tonight, but come back because there's more tomorrow night. Ask your questions on anything Newcastle United related. Ask the boys. We'll be answering it. And there may well be a mystery guest coming to join us. So stick around. Tune in tomorrow and check that out. We are starting from 8 o'clock. So 8 p.m. we'll be on live. So come and join us as the Loaded Boys get back in action, ready for Newcastle United to start kicking the ball again.
This is our pre-season, Pete. This is our pre-season.
It is. Yeah. And you know what? Just before I go to the sponsors, Alwaleed, thank you very, very much for taking your time to come and join us tonight.
Thank you, really. Thank you. Appreciate it for having me, really. Yes.
Really, really appreciate it. And it's been great to have you. Great insight from a Saudi perspective. And obviously you've been there and you've been involved in everything that's been going on. I think all Newcastle fans have been fascinated looking at Twitter from the things that you've put out, what Mitch and Adam P and Steve Hasty have been putting out with regards to all the things that have been going on Newcastle United related. And it's great for you to come and share that with us, and some really, really good insight there. So thank you for that. And look, just before we wrap up, I have to say huge thank you to the sponsors. Simon was on earlier, www.shyburns.com for all your loaded Shyburns gear. Get onto the website and take a look. We have our winter selection available. And I think Daz has purchased some new gear, so we may well see it in action tomorrow night. That is for sure. But look, it's a huge supporter of everything mental health. So make sure that you if you can, however you can, however small it is, just keep that support going. Speak to someone that needs that help, and it means a lot. Just that one conversation could make all the difference. Thank you to Pins and Prints for your support with the channel. Check out their latest pins and prints that they have available. Thank you to Marty at Machine House. Go and check out Marty's gear at Machine House. And of course, Dean at Geordie Rise, thank you for your support. Lots and lots of gear available. Go and check it out for all things Newcastle United related content. And of course, I can't say anything without saying a huge thank you to Russ, our new sponsor, the radiatorshed.com. We are now in the we're now in prison. So we're stuck in it at this moment in time. And look, As we've talked about before, the Radiator Shed provide top quality materials made from plate steel, providing longevity. All designs are manufactured in Italy. Aluminium rads are very environmentally friendly and perfect for heat source pumps. They offer a home survey service and will install if required. And there's a couple of examples here, as we always show you, of their quality, and they really are quality as well. So go and check them out. And I mentioned before, we had a new sponsor or a renewed sponsor tonight. You can only do this off your laptop, just a reminder. So if you go onto your laptop, onto Loaded, and you're watching this live, you will have an option to join and join as a membership. And you just click that blue button, takes you through, details in, $1.99 a month. And as I've mentioned before, you are going to want to be a sponsor, because what we have available to you at some point in December, you are going to want to be in that membership draw. That is for sure. And of course, I think it's about 180 away from 5K. We are getting ever closer to that 5K summit. So if you haven't yet clicked subscribe, we've had a few new faces in the chat tonight. Click that subscribe button, come and join the Loaded Mag journey, and come and join the Loaded family, and join us on all the shows that we've got coming up. And we will be very, very busy. Lots of planning been going ahead with regards to that. And that is it. We are officially back, Chris. First show back in a couple of weeks. It's been an absolute pleasure to have Alwaleed on. Alwaleed had to go, but really appreciate him taking an hour away to come and join us. And you know what, Chris? It's been great. Branding Blaze back in business with away days duties, and it's been great to chat to you about all things Newcastle. I think
where's your branding piece?
Where's my brandy? It's here.
Blaze.
It's here. Brandy and Blaze. Back in business. And look, we mentioned when we talked to the team the other night, it was just great we were looking forward to getting back talking all things Newcastle. So
absolutely.
Looking forward to more of it. And we are back tomorrow night. So check out that. The tweet will be coming out throughout the day promoting the show. So get involved and come and join us. Anything to say before we wrap up, Chris?
No, I don't think so. No, just want to say, really looking forward to tomorrow night's show. Really looking forward to the match at 5 o'clock. It's just great to be talking all things Newcastle again, because as much as I've enjoyed the World Cup and as much as it's been nice. I love playing away, Pete. I'll keep that down. I don't want my wife to hear that, but I love it.
Don't worry, Lee. You didn't mean it really. It just means from a football point of view. But of course. As Newcastle United fans, as Branding Blaze, as Loaded Mag NUFC, we do love playing away. It's been a great one. Lots more to come. Stick with us, and we will see you very, very soon.
Drink it, like weed and tell me like that.